Ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. Siyempre guys, iba yung setup natin ngayon. Tingnan nyo naman guys, yung ating room nito. Gregorian po yung design. Mrs. K, saan pa tayo ngayon?
Yes, nandito po tayo ngayon sa Philippine Embassy in Dublin. At kaya ano pang hinihintay natin?
Tara!
Let's talk!
Tara!
Let's talk!
Tara!
Let's talk!
We are delighted and honored to have our guest sa podcast na to. Kasi siyempre, for such a long time, more than a decade, wala tayong embassy sa Ireland. At ngayon, napagbigyan tayo, Mrs. K. Would you mind introducing our guest for this episode?
Yes, okay. Nandito po tayo ngayon at we are very excited kasi finally napaunlakan po tayo and they're settling here in their new place and ito na po ang kanilang permanent place. So we have our Ambassador Daniel Espiritu.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning everyone. Good day for all the viewers and the fans of this podcast program.
Yes.
It's our pleasure and honor to join you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Welcome sa aming
Yeah,
podcast.
my pleasure. Yeah.
Yan, okay. So, siguro, Ambassador, you wouldn't mind probably like yung, siyempre yung ating mga kababayan sa Ireland, gustong malaman kung sino ba talaga ang aming ambassador and konting background lang po ng inyong sarili.
I was born in Naga City in Bicol region. More than 30 years na ako sa diplomatic service. I'm a career diplomat. My first assignment, 1990, was in the Office of Consular Affairs. I started as a contractual employee actually. Then I became an officer in 1995. And my first position as an officer was as a special assistant to the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Nung araw si Secretary Domingo Siazon Jr. So I was in that position until 1998. Now in 1998, my first foreign assignment was in Seoul, Republic of Korea, where I was what they call third secretary and vice consul. It was there that I rose through the ranks, naging first secretary and consul. And I went back to the Philippines in 2004. Na-recall ako ng 2004, during which naman I was assigned to the Office of the Undersecretary for International Economic Relations. I was the special assistant again of the Undersecretary, and my portfolio was the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. Parang economic grouping yan of 27 countries, focusing on trade and investments. So yun. I was there for 2 years, 2004 to 2005. Then in 2006, I was assigned as director of our China division in the Office of Asia and Pacific Affairs. So I was there for 2 years, 2006 and 2007. Then in 2000, at the end of 2007, I was assigned as Deputy Consul General sa Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles, where I stayed for 6 years. Yun. I think sa lahat ng assignments ko, the one most similar to Ireland is Los Angeles because of the number of Filipinos and and also the dynamism of the Filipino community. And then after that, when I completed my assignment there, I was again sent back home to the Department of Foreign Affairs in Manila, where I held the position of director of we call it Division 2. Political Security Division of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Yan na yung 10 bansa. No? And then I was handling yun. Yung, lahat ng political security issues like the ASEAN Regional Forum, East Asia Summit, ayun, the retreats of the heads of government and foreign ministers, mga ganong klase, including also some South China Sea issues. Yeah, so I was there for 2 years. After which I was assigned as the ambassador to Islamabad in Pakistan, where I also had jurisdiction over Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. I was there until 2021.
Pandemic po nung nandun.
Nandun ako nung pandemic. Those were my last years, 2020 and 2021. I was also there when Kabul fell. And so yun, nag-evacuate ng mga Filipino in Kabul. That's quite... Then after that, at the end of 2021, I was assigned as Assistant Secretary of yung dati kong Office of ASEAN Affairs. in which capacity I was also the Director General of the ASEAN-Philippines Secretariat. Now, ang difference nito is that as Assistant Secretary, you're handling ASEAN affairs within the Department of Foreign Affairs, but as the Director General of the ASEAN National Secretariat, you are coordinating the activities of ASEAN, of the entire Philippine government, including other cabinet departments. Kasi may participation dyan yung other cabinet departments. So I was in that position for almost 3.5 years until the beginning of this year. Then I arrived here. I was actually appointed earlier, mga September pa, to be the ambassador designate to Ireland. Then I was approved by the Commission on Appointments by the end of September, but it took quite some time. I only arrived here in April this year and was able to present my credentials to the President of Ireland noong July 1. Yeah. No, then, yun. mahabang karera sa,
actually, maganda po yung talaga yung experience. Talagang you're into, yung tawag dito talagang foreign affairs ba?
Yeah,
Kumbaga, madami.
Lahat yun.
Opo.
From
Extensive,
diplomatic
no?
to economic to yung consular, yun, including some administrative issues, because I was also assigned for a short period sa Office of the Secretary during my first assignment there as administrative officer. Ayun. And in most of the embassies, nung junior officer pa ako, I was also the number 2 officer.
Okay. So, tanong ko lang po, so bali nung going back po yung educational background nyo po, ano po yung natapos nyo pala?
I took
Para lang-
foreign service,
Foreign-
Bachelor's of Science in Foreign Service, and also Master's in International Studies.
Ayun. So, yan po yung mga requirements
Yan yung
talaga.
background. Although technically speaking, hindi naman talaga siya requirement. The important thing is that you're able to pass the foreign service examination. May board exam yun. Oh.
So, iba pala siya.
Yeah, hiwalay,
Kumbaga,
oo.
Kung sa mga nakikinig po ba na, kunyari, kabataan na they'd like to be in your
Of course, we
position.
would like to encourage them.
Yeah, paano po ba yung mga step na gagawin? Kailangan po ba lahat ng napagdaanan nyo? Ganun? Or there are things na kailangan required talaga lang?
Well, sa Department of Foreign Affairs kasi may 2 levels of entry sa regular positions. If you want to enter at the staff level and staff officer level, yung magtitake ka lang nung entrance examination sa Department of Foreign Affairs. So you become a staff employee or staff officer. But if you want to be a foreign service officer na full-fledged, you have to take the foreign service exam. That's another examination. Medyo competitive yung ganon. And then the requirement during our time, medyo nag-iba na ng konti ngayon. During our time, all you need was civil service eligibility, bachelor's degree in college, and you must be at least nung time na mga 25 years old. In fact, during my time, binaba pa nila kahit bagong graduate ka, pwede na. As long as you pass that exam. Which was composed of 3, may preliminary examination, written examination, and oral examination. Parang ganun.
And do you have to know the law of the Philippines? Kailangan ganun talaga? Or parang...
Basic.
They don't exactly require you anything, but you're supposed to be familiar with, of course, yung political situation in the Philippines, the basic laws, yung may iwasan yun, and then international politics, international economics, and some socio-cultural subjects. Para at least familiar ka with the cultural situation in our country and also in other countries. Yun. And then one foreign language at least nung time namin.
Yeah.
Curious lang po ako, did you aim po ba talaga na, parang gusto kong maging ambassador? Or parang yun na lang yung natahak ng linya nyo?
Actually, when I took foreign service, ang plano ko lang gamitin lang yun for pre-law. But when I passed the exams, medyo mutin academic na kasi pag nasa DFA ka na, di ka naman makakapag-practice. So, so yun. But ang lahat naman ng foreign service officers parang ang natural endpoint ng career, natural culmination ng career is to be an ambassador. But of course, you can never tell. It depends on many
At saka availability din po ng posisyon, syempre. Ayun.
And then after before you can become an ambassador, pag class 1 ka na, foreign service officer class 1, may another rank na dadaanan, tinatawag na career minister's rank. You have to take a career minister's examination. That's another examination naman. So after that, yan, medyo more or less tuloy-tuloy na.
So yun guys, hindi natatapos ang pag-aaral at
Yes.
pag-exam.
Tuloy-tuloy.
Continuous
Yes.
learning ang namin.
Yes.
Oo.
So, kumbaga talagang hindi basta-basta maging ambassador.
Kailangan talagang ano yan. Siyempre, sabi nga nila, di ba, if you're an ambassador, you're speaking on behalf of the country you're representing.
Yeah.
So, like, for now, we're talking to ambassador. So, parang ano to itong Philippine, ano talaga siya, parang represent. But guys, ito kasing ating usapan na to, real talk natin, itong podcast natin, hindi kasi ito na parang formal talaga na alamin natin kung sino si ambassador bilang ambassador. Kundi, gusto natin parang light tayo ngayon. Parang alam naman natin, siyempre kakadating, or hindi makakadating, kumbaga bago lang si ambassador sa Ireland. So gusto nating malaman yung mga ano ba si ambassador bilang siya? Kumbaga, with all this thing, without this parang office and everything, yung mga ganon. When it comes to family, kailangan ba or talagang pag may family ka bilang ambassador, you have to bring your family sa isang country na yan?
Well, hindi naman required, but especially pag maliliit pa yung mga bata, of course, we are very much pro-family, even in our constitution. We encourage na magkakasama yung buong pamilya. In fact, mas friendlier na to families ngayon ang Department of Foreign Affairs. No? Hindi kayo hiwa-hiwalayin. You can bring your children with you. Yun. But then, it could only happen up to a certain point. Pagka nasa college na yung mga bata, they begin having lives of their own. Ayaw nang sumama nga sa'yo, lalo na yung mga bata ngayon. Di ba? So, ayun. May breaking point din. So, nung nandun na sa ganong stage sila, they were with my two boys. I have two boys. They were with me in South Korea and even in Los Angeles. Pero nung naging ambassador na ako sa Pakistan, hindi na sila sumama.
Kasi college na po sila noon.
College na sila noon.
na.
Oo.
And
So they
ngayon,
have lives of their own.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And
So ngayon po dito, you and your wife
lang.
na lang
Yes.
po.
Oo.
Yeah, I think ganun talaga yung buhay ng tao. 'Cause
That's right. Yeah.
Today po, yung pagpunta namin dito, normally kasi kasama namin yung mga kids. So,
Yes, yes.
Hindi namin sila kasama. Parang sabi ko, talagang tayo lang dalawa at the end of the day.
It's true.
Kumbaga,
Oo. Kaya nga ang advice ko dun sa may mga maliliit pang anak, enjoy it na to the max.
Yeah.
Because a time will come when they will change. Kasi they will have their own lives. They will have their own agenda, their own interests, which may not exactly be the same as yours.
Yes.
They will have their own personalities. Don't expect na just because they're your children, that extension mo sila. No, they're not.
Yes.
Sooner or later, they will spin off.
they will speed. Oh, yeah. Sometimes
That's normal.
That's normal. Sometimes it
Yeah.
goes to the extent na opposite kung anong ginagawa
That's
mo.
true.
Parang
Yeah.
ganun, di ba?
In fact, in the foreign service, and I'm not only talking of the Philippine Foreign Service, even yung mga sa ibang bansa, nakausap din namin yung mga ibang diplomats ng other countries. There seems to be a trend na yung mga anak ng diplomats ayaw na mag-diplomat. Yeah, because it's challenging to have this kind of life where you get torn from your friends because your parents would have to transfer from one place to another, no? And then it's good kasi you are exposed to all cultures, to all languages, no, to all countries. Pero may downside din yun, yun nga, yung social relations. Buti na lang ngayon meron ng email, internet, Facebook,
Yes.
social media. So they keep in touch. No, contrary to yung initial expectation, alam mo, yung ibang anak ng mga diplomat, pag-aalis na sila sa isang lugar, nag-iiyakan yan, yung mga maliliit pa, no, mga 8 years old, 9 years old na kids. Makikita namin yan noon, yan, normal yan. Because when I was in Korea, we lived in this parang diplomatic center. Doon nakatira yung mga anak ng mga consuls, even mga attaches, even military. Korea was malaki yung US military camp doon. So may mga US military officers doon. Yung mga anak nila, we live in adjoining buildings. Tapos magkakalaro yung mga anak namin. Pag maghihiwa-hiwalay na, it's harrowing to look at them na nag-iiyakan niya na sabi nung I might not see you anymore. Yun, because they will go
Yeah, lalaki.
sa different directions.
Yes.
And there's no guarantee that they will still see each other. Yun, ang maganda naman, in spite of that, because of social media and the internet, and emails, they're in touch. Yeah, so they're still connected up to now. Naglakihan na sila. No? So they have their own culture, parang ganon. But because of the difficulty of that. Na,
And if to come to think of it po, it will work into their advantage.
actually, we are telling them, all of us are telling them that it's actually to your advantage. This is a rare opportunity where you get to live in different cultures,
Yes.
different settings, and you're able to acquire different skills. Versatile sila. But ang human nature iba eh. There are people who love that, pero meron namang naghahanap ng peace.
Yes. Yes.
True,
Stability
true.
and peace.
Yeah.
Because when you move, nawawala yung ganon. Stability
Pero
and peace.
kung
Oo.
mapapansin
They
niyo
want
po,
roots.
yes. Pero kung mapapansin niyo po, yung mga tao na laging palipat-lipat, ang bilis nilang
Mag-adapt.
mag-adjust.
That's true.
Yes.
That's the reality about it. Ang bilis na mag-adapt. In fact, they may wish for a place where they have roots, pero itong mga batang ito, paglaki, ganun pa rin. They keep on traveling. They keep on going around. No? They would claim na, no, unlike you, I'm now here, or I'm basing myself here permanently. Pero in spite of that, ibang buhay nila kaysa dun sa hindi umalis.
Yeah.
These are the kids who are still internationally mobile kasi yung interest nila iba eh. Ayun, oo. So hindi talaga sila mako-confine sa ng isang country lang.
Yeah.
Mabuti na lang yung ngayon, yung mass media is international na.
Yeah.
I mean, you see another country in your bedroom, in your
Correct,
television,
yeah.
in your computer. So that's the difference ngayon. Otherwise, kung wala tong mga to, baka magliliparan yan every time.
Yeah.
Totoo,
So, yan. But
totoo.
then, somehow, mahirap i-predict yung human nature. Depende din siguro sa personalities. May iba na talagang natutuwa na they're all over the place. Meron naman na naghahanap ng peace, quiet, stability.
Yeah.
Oo,
Siguro,
parang
Yeah. Usually po kasi parang kung anong wala ka, yun ang hahanapin mo.
actually, yes, that's true.
Tapos kung meron ka, parang aayawan mo. Parang usual ganun yata.
Yeah.
Human nature.
Yeah. Kanya-kanya tayong hunger.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Oo. Which is good siguro para maganda naman yun ang magkakaibang hunger natin para hindi grabe ang competition.
Yes. Tama.
Kaya importante yung diversity. Yeah.
Correct.
It's very important na we're not uniform, so we should not be compelled to be
Yes.
Bago po kayo
Conform all the time.
bago po kayo pumunta dito sa Ireland, ano po yung mga ginawa nyo or yung mga expectations nyo bago makarating dito sa Ireland?
Well, ako naman, I have this kasi na, well, I guess ang personality ko yung, unlike others na palagi may hinahanap, ang ko siguro, default mode ko is I'm a contented guy.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
that's
even
good.
expect to be in this kind of life, no?
Oh.
Pwede mo kong gawing mongha, and I will thrive, no?
Yeah,
Bigyan mo
yeah.
na basta may libro lang ako, okay na ako.
Yes.
Basta may music lang ako, okay na. Ngayon, lalo na ang dami entertainment, no? So,
Yeah.
I don't expect much from life. Yun. So, but whatever blessings come my way, that's fine. Whatever challenge also come my way, yun, sana kaya ko. Ganun lang yung ko. But before I go to a certain place, including sa Pakistan noon, sa US, I don't expect much. Kasi, well, siguro part din yan yung bata pa ako. Someone already told me, don't expect too much from life so that you won't be disappointed. Pero, yeah, aside from that, talaga, madali akong i-please, madali akong makasama, yun, madali akong makontento. So, I'm not exactly the ambitious kind of guy na yung always running after something. No? Even sa, I have objectives in my career. Sige, you just do it because it's the job.
Apo.
It's not because I'm looking for some epiphany, some glory or something. It's not a psychological need. You just do it. You have a duty, just do it. Then if it turns out, do it very well, do it the best way you can, and if it turns out well, thank God.
Yeah.
Yun lang. Yeah, otherwise I'm at peace. And I'm also not averse to failure. Yun, kasi usually in career tracks like this, marami yung mga perfectionista and others. In a sense, I think I also am. Sabi nga nila, I don't believe in astrology, no? Pero sabi nila, because I'm a Virgo one, I'm a perfectionist. Pero okay din lang sa akin kahit yung may konting failure. Normal naman. I accept it's a normal part ng life. And in fact, even failures are sources of lessons for
Correct.
life.
Yeah.
So
Siyempre, ganun.
I'm okay with that. It's not so bad kung madapa ka, di tayo ka na lang uli. Yeah, it's what you do afterwards.
Exactly.
Yes.
Kumbaga, sabi nga ni Rocky Balboa, di ba? It's not it doesn't matter how you fall, but what matters most is how you come back, how you
Afterwards,
stand up.
that's
Yeah.
true. Very important yung bouncing back.
Yes.
If possible, cheerfully.
Yeah.
So we can see po na talaga you're a happy person.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Oo. Kasi simply, I don't really have any special demand sa buhay. Oo. In the same way that I also don't feel na may... kasi there are people na bata pa lang or sisimula pa lang sa career, ang dami na nilang parang may track na yung buhay nila, kailangan magawa nila to, kailangan ma-achieve nila to. Or what. For me,
pressure yun pag ano.
yeah, that's true. Maraming ganyan. Even my family, maraming ganyan. But ako, ang ano ko naman is, well, when I was born, nobody asked me to sign a contract, di ba? So,
Yeah.
I can do as I please. For me, yung may mga tao na naghahanap ng the meaning of life. Mahilig din ako sa philosophy. It's one of my favorite readings since I was in high school. Pero I don't expect much of I think yung meaning, it's what you give life.
Yeah.
If you want to give one to your life in the first place. So I don't feel na driven or anything. Yeah. Well, if I was able to come this way or come this far, I think blessing na lang ng by the ng divine providence and ng fortune yun. So ang importante is ready ka doon sa wherever you are to be able to do your obligations and responsibilities.
Yeah. Maganda. Now, bago po tayo, siyempre, ang Ireland kasi, yung mga Filipinos sa Ireland, there's about 22 to 23,000 na tayo ngayon.
Yeah. I was surprised because on my way here, when I was first briefed about Ireland, yung mga unang datos na lumalabas sa amin, yung mga luma pa eh. That was mga 12,000 daw, 15,000. In fact, on my way to Congress, to the Commission of Appointments, isa yun sa mga issue, ilan ba talaga yung nandoon? And then, then somebody told us that 20,000 na. And tumataas each time na nagpo-progress yung... Then when I went to the Embassy of Ireland in Manila, I called on the ambassador doon, si Ambassador Emma Hickey. I was told it might even be bigger. Baka 25,000 to 30,000. Yun. So far, wala pa namang confirmation kasi it's difficult really to track.
Yeah.
In all countries, it's difficult to track that. Alam mo, usually, ang batayan lang naman namin yan, yung mga visas na ini-issue. But sometimes you're not able to track kung nakabalik na or nag-move to another country.
Correct, yeah.
Yun. And we know for a fact here in Ireland na hindi siya linear na paakyat. We know that before 2000, kukunti lang Pilipino dito. Sabi nga nung una, mga 70 plus lang, 100 plus. Then naging 700. But nag-skyrocket after 2001 when Ireland started recruiting a lot of nurses from the Philippines. Simply because talaga may shortage ng nurses dito. It's not a case of Filipinos coming here, nagbabaka sakali maging nurse. No, we were really requested. Yeah, we were really deliberately hired to fill in positions here. So, doon nag-skyrocket. But nung economic crisis naman, marami ding nagsara na institution. And maraming Filipino ang umuwi. In fact, according to one estimate, almost half of the Filipinos transferred nung crisis. And the decline continued until siguro nga 2017, 2018, 2019.
Yeah, oo.
It's only recently na naman na may mga dumating na naman, many of them bago. So, the other week, I was being shown these pictures of Filipinos who were here in, let's say, 2001. Sabi nila, alam mo, Ambassador, itong picture na to, more than half of them, wala na yan dito. So, pero na-replenish yung number, pero mga bago na naman. So I think nagfa-fluctuate yung...
Actually I would say the last 3 years po is mas doble or triple yung dumarating because open na ang Ireland sa mga skilled
That's
workers.
true. Yes.
Unlike before,
They need them.
mga lang talaga, mga mostly nurses.
Yes.
Yun.
Ngayon, accountants
yeah.
and IT personal IT experts.
Yeah.
Just the other night, Sunday night, I was with a Filipino community group na nag-hold ng Christmas party nila. I met a guy from Intel. So, ganung mga level yung, and he's a technical guy. So, those kinds of skills are not exactly available here. Ganun na lang. Ang maganda sa IT, ang daming skills.
Yeah.
No, you cannot just say IT. So, it's may gumagawa ng semiconductors, mga computer chips, may gumagawa ng mga programs, may nasa AI, etc. Merong computer animators. So, iba-iba yan, very diverse yan. And then they are all highly skilled na you don't just grow them in your backyard na ganon. And then there's also this trend na hindi lahat ng mga bata gusto mag-take ng ganong course. So I think that's the challenge of Ireland. They have the resources, they have the universities, but not everyone would like to take that course. I think the same is also true in the United States. So hindi maiwasan ng US na mag-import ng mga engineers because I was there for 6 years. They cannot raise the required number of engineers even in Silicon Valley every year in America. They have to recruit abroad. In fact, ang iba niyan, including our accountants, hindi pa nag-graduate, binabantayan na nila. Because they have to compete with other countries also.
Correct, yeah.
And not only that, the companies would have to compete with other companies. Kung hindi yan pupunta dito, pupunta yan somewhere else. O may kukuha niyan.
At saka ang nangyayari po kasi, parang pansin namin kasi our kids, they're born here, they're
Yeah.
growing up here, they're in school and everything like that. But when it comes to students na mga puti, parang hindi sila masyadong nagko-concentrate dun sa mga engineering na yan. Sa
Yeah,
mga,
that's true. That's true.
Parang more on mas gusto nila yung mga maging plumber, yung maging mga electrician.
Yeah.
Parang ganun parang gusto nila it's a blue collar job pero
Yeah.
mataas din ang
Ang bayad,
sa kanila.
So that's enough for them, no?
Parang mas gusto nila yung ganun kesa yung parang talagang sabi mong skilled as in like when it comes to yung profession talaga. Yun ang napapansin ko.
Ang iba din mas gusto ng humanities na subjects, mga liberal arts,
May mga ganun.
cultural.
Tayong mga Filipinos, gusto natin pagka nakagraduate ang anak, yung may trabaho talaga
trabaho
maganda.
talaga. Yes.
Parang sigurista yung mga Pilipino parang ganun
We do it for livelihood
Yeah.
talaga. Siguro it's also because of yun nga, yung past natin, talagang we were a developing country. And
Yeah.
the same goes with the families. Marami also came from humbler families na ayaw nang maghirap. No?
Yes.
They want to improve their stations
Correct.
in life, di ba? Kaya nga, nagpupumilit mag-abroad para for the children.
Yeah.
And then, maganda naman, talagang may fruits naman ito. The first generations ng mga nag-abroad, ang mga anak, mga professionals na. Yun. So may mga, in fact, I come from Bicol, there are communities there na nung bata pa ako, farmland. At ang mga nakatira, mga magsasaka talaga. And then, nakatapos naman ng ang iba, maraming nakatapos ng college, maraming nakatapos ng kahit high school man lang. It doesn't have to be the most prestigious universities, but they do their best to get employed, and many really strive to work abroad. Ako pagbalik ko, di ko na mahanap yung daan papunta dun sa place namin kasi natatakpan na ng mga alalaking bahay. Pag tinanong mo, who owns this house? Those were the children of the former farmers na ngayon nag-abroad na, may mga magaganda ng profession sa abroad, and so they were able to build this for their parents, for their siblings, for their families. So nakakatuwang
Yeah.
yung ang lawak na sakahan, hindi naman yung natakpan yung well, of course it's a tragedy na sometimes nagiging subdivision but yung labas napuno na yung roadside ng mga bahay na malalaki. I mean, nakikita mo nag-i-improve yung life ng mga kababayan natin. Yun.
Yun.
Ano po talaga, doon mo malalaman na ang buhay ng tao is nag-i-improve talaga.
Yes, yes.
I think tayo lang talaga yung mga tao na nagsasabi, hirap na hirap. Pero nag-i-improve Di ba dati, mga bata, naglalakad lang.
Malayo na
Ngayon,
rin
may
inabutan
mga
natin.
service na. May mga,
Yes.
pero hirap na hirap daw.
Of course. In a sense siguro, compared to, nagkukumparahan kasi tayo we compare each other to, one family compares itself to another family, and then we also compare ourselves to other countries.
Yeah.
May nauuna talaga, may nauhuli. And then, totoo pa rin, meron pa rin poverty sa Philippines. Yan, nandiyan pa rin talaga yan. So, and that's why, we all have to help address that.
Yung kasi sa atin sa Philippines, meron talaga tayong pyramid na mahalata mo talaga na yung those on top na parang mayayaman, siyempre, iba yung pamumuhay nila sa
Middle
baba.
class
Di ba?
and
Pag
then lower
sinabi mo
class.
triangle. Unlike in Ireland po kasi, parang everyone is fair in such a way na, kumbaga, kahit doktor pa yan, nurses, porter, yung kinakain pare-parehas lang. Hindi kagaya sa Philippines, siyempre, iba talaga kinakain pagka yung mga, di ba, depende sa work mo, sa income mo. Pero dito, all is fair. Na,
Medyo mas egalitarian sila. No?
Yes.
Probably also because they also have a smaller population than ours.
yes,
no? Kasi
big time.
with almost 120 million na tayo, 115 million.
Dito po 5
Kahit
million
talagang-
lang.
Yun na nga, 5 million lang, di ba? Metro Manila lang yan eh. Mas
Yeah.
maliit pa yun kaysa Metro Manila, di ba? So, you can, bumaba na rin yung poverty rate natin. I mean, noon talaga malaki, more than half. Then ngayon, smaller na lang. But because millions, 120 million, may 20% ka na lang na poverty rate, that's 40 million.
Yeah,
Yun.
ang hirap.
So, ayun.
Ang hirap. Yeah.
Oo.
So,
And that's
yun.
bigger than the population of Ireland.
Oo.
And then, yung bansa natin, hindi naman lumalaki. Yung resources din naman lumalaki. We can only depend on the growth of the economy. But that's not enough to distribute equally na lahat sufficient. We don't know. Oo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sana nga tuloy-tuloy na itong
Tuloy-tuloy tayo.
nag-grow naman tayo. We are among the fastest growing economies in
Asia.
Usually naman 5% or what. But probably we need to grow more. Kasi because of the peculiarity of our population. Yun. Tapos kailangan pa natin ayusin yung infrastruktura natin.
And all the issues.
And all the issues yun. Nadadivert din tayo ng political issues.
Yes.
Political competition.
Unfortunately.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yun, maganda yun, mga talakayan natin. Now, when it comes to dito naman sa atin, sa community natin, sa Ireland, medyo kumbaga marami-rami na rin yung parang talagang sabi nating na-organize ng mga community. Siyempre kailangan ng ganun eh. Now, before we proceed usapang community sa Ireland, maybe kailangan invite natin yung isa nating kumbaga isama natin dito sa ating usapan ang ating resource person, if you don't mind, Ambassador.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's welcome
Yeah.
Mrs. Kay.
Okay. So let's welcome ang ating resource person. We have Miss Hilda Arenas.
Yay!
Hello, good afternoon po or good morning.
Yan. So, ayun, we were just talking about sa ating community sa Ireland. So, siguro, maganda yung parang, ano na ba yung mga updates natin when it comes to community? Siyempre, alam naman natin na ikaw ay president nung FIMOS. At hindi lang yun. Kumbaga, what's really good about Hilda, Mr. Ambassador, is that she has lots of contacts, not only within the Filipino community, but other nations as well, as in like other embassies as well.
Oh, like this of me. No, when it comes to community, we're so happy that the embassy is open again. Kasi marami tayong magagawa with the help of Ambassador and his team. And as a community, if we work together, as a united community, then we can do more.
Yes.
And we're here to support the ambassador, his team.
Thank you.
And also, because we're here, yes, we're Filipino, but we're here, Philippines.
Hindi,
Team
actually-
Philippines.
Yes.
Yes, nakakatuwa po kasi na since nung dumating kayo, nabuhay ang mga Filipinos.
Ganun ba?
Yung mga
Yes,
group
yeah.
po, nabuhay po. Kasi kumbaga, dumating sa time na nag-pandemic, so parang yung mga community na tahimik, yung parang
The
nawala
morale
ng...
has gone down,
So,
kumbaga.
since nung dumating po kayo, parang, let's do this. Parang nagtayo na ng mga group. Kumbaga yung mga grupo noon na natulog, parang mga
Nabuhay.
nagising.
Ang dami kaya pala,
parang
daming events.
ganon.
Yes.
Opo. So maganda yun na kumbaga para sa ating mga kababayan na eto, nabuhay yung ating mga officers na talagang passionate sila na mag-organize ng mga event. Kasi in every community, kailangan talaga ng mga ganong tao. Kasi bilang ambassador po, hindi naman po kayo talaga yung mag-organize noon. So syempre, nandiyan kayo bilang tatay namin. So, kumbaga,
Kuya na lang.
Kuya, hindi po ba tatay? Tito. Kuya, tito. So kumbaga, mali ba? Okay. Nandito kayo bilang si Big Brother. So kumbaga, syempre maganda na yung bawat group is merong mga leaders dyan na tatayo na mag-organize ng mga event para sa lahat ng mga Filipinos, and then syempre nandiyan kayo na mag-grace sa mga event na yan. Diba? Or
Diba?
syempre, Maganda yon, maganda na nakakatuwa na nabuhayan ng mga Filipinos.
We try our best. Kung hindi naman ako, I send a representative. We also have a Consul General, si Eric Aquino. He's very active. In fact, hinahati na namin yung mga events eh.
Yes.
And then ang consul namin si Ajit Panimanglor, and yung cultural officer namin, community officer si Maricel Valles Film. Ayun. So sometimes sumasama din yung ibang staff
Yes.
doon sa ibang events. Yun. In fact, in Cavan, lahat yata kami, full force.
Yes, full force space.
Oh, yes. Doon tayo na nagkakilala.
Yun lang, just bear with us kasi we're a very small team. 8 lang ho kami dito. Kasama na ako. And for a population of 22,500 or bigger, that might not be enough. Ang daming organizations. Ngayon na naglilista na kami, Diyos ko, ang dami pala. It's almost 100 all over in all 26 counties. No? And then, hindi din madali na, pag tingnan mo sa mapa ang Arlan, napakaliit lang. No? Mindanao is bigger.
Yeah.
But the moment you travel, it will take you 4 hours to get to Wexford or to Waterford, even more, no? So, it's also a challenge. And then, of course, the expenses and everything, the logistics, Yun.
Yun
So,
to, papunta sa Cork, malayo din yun.
Yeah,
Ganun,
oo.
yeah.
Gaya nga po ng nasabi ko, nagising ang mga Pilipino nang dumating kayo.
Yeah, but we've been all over. Yun, mag-attend na kami ng mga events sa Waterford, Wexford, Galway, hanggang Donegal. May pumunta na ng Donegal. Yun, nakarating na rin ako ng Cork. Of course, Meath. Then, of course, dito sa around Dublin pa lang.
Madami
Mapupuno
po.
ka na. Oo.
So, next year po, ano po yung nilulook forward nyo for 2026?
Well, since we already have an embassy, magiging normal na ang pace ng life, we'll start having these consular outreach programs para to bring the consular services closer to the people, especially in those far-flung places. Yeah, especially after yata Dublin, ang pinakamarami, Galway, right? Galway, Cork, Limerick, then Waterford, Wexford. So we'll be going to those places na rin. And even as far as Donegal.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but in that, we'll be needing the help of the Filipino community, kayo.
Yes.
So, we will solicit the help of the community organizations in those areas to ensure the participation of all the members of the community so that we may be able to reach as many Filipinos as possible. Malaking bagay na rin yun na once in a while, hindi nyo na kailangan pumunta ng Dublin. Kami pupunta sa inyo. Mahirap, di ba? Mahirap pumunta, especially with the family.
Correct, yeah.
Di ba? So,
We've actually done that
We'll do that.
before when
Yeah.
we were still
the consul.
with the consular.
went to
The first
Yes.
time, and then I think that was the last. Anyway, first and last.
Oo.
Yun. So, Hilda, ano kasi si Hilda eh. Let's put it this way. Kumbaga, expert si Hilda when it comes to dealing with diplomats. So, nung pagdating ni ambassador dito, syempre, kung nakipag-usap nga siya sa mga ibang diplomats ng ibang bansa,
I know. Yeah.
di ba? Mas lalo na sa ating,
Expert.
di ba? Parang ganun. Yeah, what can you say about, lang, real talk lang.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very proud talaga na may embassy na tayo dito kasi for such a long time, wala tayong presence with government-to-government dealings. And yes, medyo nakikipag-usap ako sa mga embassies before the Philippine Embassy opened. At it's very envious talaga na makikita mo ang isang country na may representation sila dito when it comes to government and or official meetings. So I'm very proud na the embassy is open again. Ambassador is here and his dedicated team para maiangat ang Pilipinas talaga. Not just the Filipino, but the Philippines itself. Kasi kung lumalabas tayo, we're saying we're Filipinos, we're from Pangasinan, I'm from Pangasinan, I'm from Pangasinan or Cebuano or wherever, but we are representing the Philippines as our nation. So, madali naman kausapin ang mga embassy staff. Sometimes we have this look na parang hindi tayo sure if they're, going to help us. Yes, accommodating. They're very accommodating. We just have to knock on the door and they're here to help. So, yes, we're very proud and very happy na finally we have an embassy to call our own dito.
Yeah. Okay.
Siguro, masasabi ko lang na every time na nasa diplomatic function ako, nakikita ko si Hilda. Siguro every week yata kami or every other week nagkikita. And it's all by accident, di ba kami nag-uusap
Yes.
Like may National Day yung Mexico. Yun,
Ngayon nga po. Hindi
makikita ko lang nandun si Hilda. Doon sa Malaysia, nandun si Hilda.
So okay.
So, nasanay na ako na fixture na si Hilda dyan.
Makakala niyo po in-stock kayo ni Hilda.
Oo. I'm the
Sa
best.
akin kaya alam mo hindi.
I'm the #1 fan of Ambassador kaya kung saan siya nandun ako.
And I'm very happy na yung mga leaders natin, including si Hilda, they're very dynamic sa mainstream community, not only sa Filipino community. So kilala sila even by the other ethnic groups. And especially by the local officials, mga councilmen, city councilmen, pati mga members of the DOIL, mga parliamentarians, and senators. No? In fact, I think I've met almost half of the politicians here through the events ni Hilda, ni Vanda, and the other community leaders. Yun. So much so that sometimes, when I attend functions, di ko pa nami-meet itong particular parliamentarian or senator, hinahanap na ako. Where's the Philippine ambassador? Kasi yung pala, na-introduce na ako by word of mouth ng community leaders like sina Hilda and the
At
others.
least hindi niyo na po kailangan ng secretary.
Yun na nga. Ako pa nasa-surprise kasi hinahanap ako. Di ko pa na-meet yung tao, hinahanap ako. And then of course, it also helps that we do have a lot of Filipinos in the community. So, malaking portion ng kanilang constituents yung Filipinos. So, and they're very active and very high profile and very constructive yung role ng mga Filipinos dito. And very professional also. So, ang laki ng prestige and goodwill ng Filipinos in Ireland. In fact, hindi ako nagsasawang ulit-ulitin ito during my meetings with the government officials here, especially with the president, President Higgins, the former President Higgins, nung nag-present ako ng credentials ko, they were the ones who offered to tell me na how much they appreciate the presence of Filipinos here. Precious sa kanila yung presence ng Filipinos because of their contribution to the community, especially to the healthcare system dito. I mean, sabi niya, kahit saan kang hospital pumunta, you'll meet Filipinos and they're among the most professional. Yeah. There may be more of the other nationalities, but when it comes to professionalism and the trademark tender-loving care, that's the Filipinos. Yun. So it was heartwarming, honestly. Yeah.
So yun. Maraming salamat Ambassador Espiritu sa
thank you
time
also.
ninyo.
Yeah,
And
my
then
pleasure.
sa mga thank you very much.
In fact, ako dapat magpasalamat sa inyo. You traveled from afar. Ilang oras para marating lang ng Dublin for us to have this interview and for you to be able to meet our people. Yeah. Oo nga pala, huwag kayong mag-atubiling na lumapit sa mga kasamahan namin. Lahat yan mababait. Very low profile, medyo mahihain pa nga.
Wag lang daw po cash problem.
Wala kami noon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone is welcome sa Philippine Embassy.
Yan.
And then even ako, if they want to meet with me, just ako naman nandito almost every day. Yeah, sometimes kailangan ng appointment because baka wala ako, baka nandun ako sa another event or
Sure.
yun lang yun. Oo.
Yan.
Otherwise, everyone's welcome. Yun.
Yeah, thank
Finally
you.
nga, na-welcome ko na si
Hilda.
Hilda. Matagal ko na gustong i-invite ko dito. But nahiya ako na wala akong upuan. Ngayon na-deliver na. Well, nakita nyo, ngayon nagdi-deliver pa hanggang ngayon.
Sige, saka po kaming TV daw.
Okay. Now, masayang usapan at marami pa tayong in the future. Hopefully, this is not our last.
Yeah.
But thank you very much guys for watching. And Mrs. K, hanggang sa muli guys.
Okay.
Tara!
Let's talk.
Tara!
Let's talk.
Tara!
Let's talk.